Hey guys, C-Note here. I am in DC, Reston, Virginia, specifically for the Profiler Training event here with Personality Hacker. If you are not familiar with Personality Hacker, you should get familiar with Personality Hacker because they're some of my favorite people and my main source for everything that I've learned about typology over the last year or so. I'm in the hotel, so there's some background music, so I apologize for that, but hopefully you should hear me clearly and everything should be okay. So today I wanted to talk about how INTPs can find a sense of Zen, and finding a sense of Zen is different for every type, I think, personally, and it's kind of its own challenge. But for INTPs, it's a challenge because we're in this state of really trying to figure out all sorts of decisions throughout our life all the time, and a lot of the times that means we have to go to some dark places. Sometimes we have to ask some really tough questions as we navigate the world and navigate life, you know? So that can be one of the most challenging situations as we're trying to figure this out for ourselves. And so essentially it's like trying to define what Zen is for an INTP. And I think ultimately it's about finding your sense of peace. And that could be finding your flow state, which using that TINE to find your version of your flow state for you, whether that's like tech work and exploration or I like working networking events and stuff like that and doing video production. So I get to do video production while being out in the world. It's kind of TINE right there, right? That gives me a sense of Zen. But often since Zen is associated with conflict or an avoidance of conflict, and I don't think avoiding conflict is exactly what Zen is. Zen is not necessarily like a still state, right? I think Zen is like a present, active process, and I think one of the things that helps me the most is realizing that anyone that I'm spending time with and working with or talking to has nodes in their entire system of their lives. They have these nodes from start to finish as to like when they were little kids up until today, working through all of these moments in their lives where they have traumas that they've had to work through, they've had conflicts with relationships, maybe they've had issues with someone like you in the past that they're trying to disassociate so that they can actually work with you in a way that's healthy for them, right? And sometimes that means that they're going to get triggered by just your presence. And, you know, for you to have patience for that is actually a thinking process. You know, for you to just take a moment and think about, okay, this is something that exists in their past. These are things that they've worked through, and that allows you to have patience for other people. And I say that because having patience for other people is probably one of the biggest struggles that we have as INTPs. We want to call people stupid and you know, point out their flaws or point out their flaws in logic. And it doesn't mean that we should avoid calling out dissonance or, you know, not being helpful in that sort of way. I think ultimately it's about finding a way to do that in a way that's respectful. Because again, you have to kind of learn the nodes in someone's system and sort of respect that for them, right? So it's a bit complicated, but you know, it's something that takes time to figure out as you go through this life as an INTP. You know, so just to kind of share a little bit of my story with this also is like back in 2016, I was a trolly miserable mess. I think most of the internet was, but I was definitely in a terrible emotional state, and I felt like I had to project that out onto the world through all sorts of just anger and trolling and putting things out there in a way that was not helpful to me or anyone that I was surrounding myself by. And at some point I read, which I can suggest that you read as a means to kind of start this path for you, is The Four Agreements. That was a book that really helped me sort of parse out what was going on for me throughout this process. You know, it mainly talks about not making assumptions, don't take things personally. I forget the other two off the top of my head, but you know, essentially those are the main points there. So I'm going to wrap this up since like people are getting set up and whatnot, but that's the main idea. This is just a quick short YouTube video. I'll probably do something in the future. I wanted to take advantage of this rad space here in this in the lobby here of this hotel, but I'll probably find a quieter space for future videos. So thank you guys for listening. If you want to check out the Cosmic Calibration course, go to Cosmic INTP, or rather bit.ly/CosmicINTP, all lowercase, and I'll check you guys out there. See ya.